Today we are going to learn access modifiers. So what is access modifiers? Why do we need to use? So access modifiers is nothing but accessing. Accessing means whatever the class or method variables is there in your class, how you can use those things in different areas, like within the class, outside the package. Okay, outside the package is having the class, then how this particular method or variable is visible to use in your program. So let's take, I have one class. I have a class A. So this class is having some method. I'm not using any of the access modifier as now. I'm just simply writing my method, some statement, statement one. So this particular class, if you see, it don't have any access modifier. We haven't written for this class. But when you go back to your previous examples, we are writing public class A, then public void my method. Likewise, we are going to write it. So the difference, what is the difference between this one and public static void main, whatever method you class are you have written? See, this is one of the class we wrote from last session. Public class sample example, public static void main is the main method. So likewise, we are going to write it. If you compare both of them, so this class and this class, the first is don't have any access modifier, we have not written. But backend, what will happen if you haven't written anything? Backend, what will happen this particular class? You have not written anything. Backend, it will apply access modifier for that. So there is one default access modifier, so that call it as default. But you can see that the default is a particular access modifier is existing in Java. Backend automatically it will apply it. Okay, so that is one of the by default applying access modifier when you haven't written any of the access modifier for the class. So access modifier is nothing but how you can access any of the method variable class in different locations. You can specify that yes, this can be visible up to this location in the sense that might be a package or class. You are restricting to that particular information. So in this class, whatever we have written it here, so in this one, I'm just taking some. See this particular class, whatever the class it is, class A, you haven't applied. If you haven't applied anything, that means it's a default will be there. So first let us see what are the access modifiers we have. So we have four kind of access modifiers. One is public, protected, default, and private. These are the four kind of access modifiers are available in Java. So it is having different kind of access level. The first thing is private. So what is the meaning of private here? So let's take the same example. So if you have write private for this particular method, let's take if I write private like this, private void my method. So this private when you are going to apply, so if you apply a private, so this particular method, whatever my method you have, this method can be accessed within the class level. So that means I can access within the class level only. So if you are trying to access outside of that, let's take, if you are going to use it some other class, class B, here public static void main string args. So if you want to use that particular method, let's take this method. If you want to access it outside of that, like a new a of, then a dot my method. So in this case, you are just accessing, like object is getting created at here and you are invoking this method. That is okay. But if you want to access, like directly, if you wanted to be use this method in this B, it will not be possible that. Okay, that is one thing you have to remember. Private means within the class level. Within the class you can, let's take one more method. If you add it here, okay, so inside this class A, then you can happily use this one. But outside of that, like my method, if you want to directly call it in this B method, B class, it's not possible. That is one thing you should keep in mind. So that is private related. The next thing is default. As I said earlier, default is nothing but if you are not using any of the modifier, then by default Java is applying default. This is also having the access limitations. So access limitations here, let's take this particular class is having package as com dot A2A dot sample. Let's take if this is my particular package name, okay, and this is also is in same package. So when you are not applying any access modifier, by default is going to apply, right? So if both are in the same package, let's take A is in sample package and B also be the same package, then you can access it, this particular class inside B. So that is one of the access you can get it by default. The next thing is protected. So what is meaning of the protected? Let's take the protect scenario. Package sample is having class A and class B is in another package. Let's take this one is in sample 1. So these are both are different kind of packages. This is sample package, this is sample 1 package. So when you are going to access it, let's take if you are accessing this particular class information into the B, so direct there is no communication between these two because this is different package, this is also different package. So only one scenario you can access this information, A information into B or else B information into A. So that scenario is these two should be having some relation. That relation is either parent child relation. So then you can access it. So what is a parent child relation here? Let's take B extends A. So in this case, there is a relation between. So you are telling that as per your program, you are saying, so A is my parent class, B is the child class. So this case, you can able to access it. So that means whenever a protected, let's take the protected is here. Sorry, let me take it some word. So if it is protected, if my class is protected, then you can access it another package, and within the class it's by default will come, and another package. If you want to access the CA, it should be having the relation that is parent child relation. So this is the parent child relation approach. So B extends CA, that means A is my parent class to the B, then I can able to access A information into here. But another limitation, wherever the private is there, that means private rule as usual within the class level. But if you're trying to access outside of that, it will not be accessible. That means this private void my method will not be accessed directly at here. Okay, so that is the one rule you should remember. So the order of the priority, private is having the lower limitation, public is having the wider limitation. So public, the last one is public. If you use it public instead of private, so that means this class can access anywhere within your entire project. So that means public means you can access within the class, outside of the package, any of the package. Simply you can access it. So that is visibility in the public. So private will be having lower limitation, and default will be having little more accessibility. Protected will be another few more, and public will be having the wider limitation. So that is order of the access. So if you see that same class, so same class private related variables methods can access within the class, and default able to protected public. But if you see the next thing, same package but outside of the class. So private related few things outside of the class means within the package outside of the class, here limitation will be there. But when you make the object at the time, you can use it. The default will be same package you can do. Okay, I think it's some spell mistake, it should be n. Okay, so here only within the class default will be same package, outside class able to access, protect will be more, and public will be, see the public every case it will be able to access, protected will be having limitation. Okay, so non-child relation you cannot access it, default will be outside of the package but within the same class relation. Okay, so this is the access related structure. Okay, so this is the overall information about access modifiers. So this will play very crucial role in the Java. So based on your access modifier, your class will be accessible. Let's write one example for that, we will see. So before that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one package for that. Okay, already I have the core Java. So here modifiers. So I created the package. So the package structure will be, if you go back, src com A2A learner core Java modifier. See here inside core Java modifier will be there. So here whatever the core Java, here two classes are there, sample example and student list. So I'm going to create one more class in modifier package. So here private, so modifier private example, public static void main. Let's put it private int a equal to 10. So system.out.println I want one more method is my method. So here out.println a. So this one I can able to access it by making the object new modifier dot, so my method. So if I print it, I can able to print it without any issue. Even it is private. Okay, this variable is a access modifier is private. So within the class, I can able to access it. So let us take it as another class. I just use it as modifier example. So here public static void main modifier private new modifier. It's a my method. So now modifier dot, if I try to access it a, so it having the restriction because it is private type. Okay, so I cannot able to access it. It is saying that I'm unable to find this. What does mean this one? Okay, it is saying you have to create it. What we will do, let's take this one to remove it. So if you remove, again, one second, one problem will be there here. It is giving error. So let's put it as protect. Just one second. Oh, I should print it. Sorry. Okay. So let's put it as non-protect scenario. So I am able to access it. One thing you should remember. So when I use private, at the time I'm unable to access this one. So when I switch it back to another non-private, so I can able to access it. So when you have not declared anything for this particular variable, I'm trying to access the variable. The remaining all are public is there. So I'm just playing with the variable now. So here, if you are not specifying any modifier, so by default is going to be apply. So the default access will be within the class level and outside of the class, that should be in the same package. See here, these two classes are in same package, modifier package. That is the reason you are able to access this particular modifier. The next thing is, if you apply protected, so protected, if you apply it, obviously it will come because both are in the same package. If I create another package, so I'm just using another package as, before that I need to create a different package dot modifier 1. So because trying to create two packages, one is modifier, another one is modifiers. So here let's create one more example, modifier protected example. So I want to access this. modifier private whatever this fifth line a value into this class. Okay, so again public static void main. Now if I try to access it, modifier modifier dot a, see it's giving error. So it is saying that there is no relation. See this particular class and this classes don't have any relation, and it is in different packages. That is the reason it is failing. It is unable to access it. Now let's make it a parent child relation. So I'm just making the parent child relation as extend modifier private. See, when it is having the relation, then this error gone. There is no error. So this kind of scenario protected will be applied. Okay. So it should be having some relation. Then you can able to access it. The next thing is whatever the program, if you run it, you can able to see the result. Okay. See the result is 10. This 10 is coming from this class because it is the protected type. So the next thing is if I change it to private, this method, so modifier, it's having the limitation. Same thing, whatever the variable you tried, the same rule for methods also. So because in this class, my method is the private. So private can access within same class. But here you are accessing outside of that. So then this problem came because it's a private type. If you change it to default, then no error because these two are in the same package. The next thing is if I try to access it outside of the package, let's take I'm trying to access it outside of the package, modifier dot, see it's not visible at all. Only my main method is going to be display, but this my method is not visible at all because of this access modifier issue. So if I put it protected, then I can able to see now. So instead of this, my method, see my method is able to appear. Okay, I hope you understood this, the difference between private, default, protected, public.